The Minnesota Vikings are feeling confident about their roster, and why shouldn't they? They added defensively and offensively, offensive line and secondary. They added running backs. They added everywhere around their roster. So the question that I think needs to be answered, because this is a question that we answer everywhere in our entire life. Everywhere. Why didn't I read God's word more? Well, because of this and this and that. Why didn't you do that? Well, because, yeah. What is going to be the Minnesota Vikings' big excuse this season if they don't deliver in the playoffs in the regular season? So we're going to dive into that today. The Vikings excuse meter. We're going to talk about that. But first, I need to talk about 5-Star Bass Solutions in Minneapolis, because they completely transformed our bathroom, not in 8 weeks, in 48 hours. Don't wait 8 weeks for a project to get done when you can pay the same price for the project to get done in 48 hours. It was absolutely incredible. And that's why I'm telling you about 5-Star Bass Solutions of Minneapolis. My wife and I, we did not want to wait 8 weeks for a project to get done where we had to cram into a teeny tiny bathroom in the basement of our house while she got ready for work while I was working, where our kids had to go to the bathroom. Our bathroom was done in 48 hours. 48 hours. Take a look at this. Here's the before pictures. We had a blue floor, a blue step going into the shower. Our bathroom was designed for an elderly couple because an elderly couple lived here before us. They had handrails. The problem is we ain't elderly. There's mold in the shower because water got behind the handrails. We had one sink. Now we have 2 sinks. We have a blue vanity. We have a new countertop. We have new floors, a new tub, a new surround. Our new bathroom is absolutely incredible, and we love it, and we got it in 48 hours. A full bathroom remodel for the same price as a project that would take 8 weeks. 5-Star Bass Solutions of Minneapolis. They're called 5-Star for a reason. 5-Star Bass Solutions of Minneapolis. All right. Vikings excuse meter. Alec Lewis, he's an insider for the Vikings, for The Athletic. And the Purple Persuasion, which is the best Twitter account in the world if you have not followed them yet, posted one of his videos onto their page and wrote this in the description. It said, Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings have yet to win a playoff game in 3 seasons, despite 2 of the 3 seasons winning 13 plus games. Do the Vikings have to win a playoff game? Alec Lewis hints the pressure is building for this regime to start making playoff runs. Quote, the objective has to be to win a playoff game in year 4. Quote, from Alec Lewis on his podcast, The Alec Lewis Show. Okay. This is a juicy subject, in my personal opinion, because the Minnesota Vikings in year 1 under O'Connell win 13 games. All these 1-score games, which was completely lucky, some of them, and was a winning way that was not repeatable. That was not a rinse and repeat scenario to win football games. This past year, Sam Darnold plays his best football of his career and then falters in the final 2 games of the season, as well as the offensive line. The problem with the 2 years the Vikings won 13 plus games is the first year, there was the big excuse of Ed Donatell's defense. His defense was awful. Although it forced turnovers, the yards, the points, it was not good. Last year, not many excuses, except for Sam Darnold collapsing when the going gets tough at the end of the year. When the pressure mounted, Darnold collapsed. Now, going into year 4, You got McCarthy as the QB. You've got a completely remodeled offensive line at center, at left guard, at right guard. O'Neal and Darsal will be back. Defensive line is also completely remodeled with a Hargrave here and a Hargrave there. Here, there a Hargrave, everywhere a Hargrave. The secondary, you added pieces there. TJ Hawkinson enters the season healthy. There is no excuse for the Minnesota Vikings not to win substantial games this season. And if you are going to point to an excuse, there's going to be two excuses that people point to. Well, McCarthy's, this is his first time starting. But that wasn't a problem this past offseason. That was a problem that people completely overlooked when Aaron Rodgers was a possibility. That was a problem that people overlooked. Oh, well, McCarthy will be fine. But if he doesn't play well, people will point the finger at McCarthy. He will be the excuse or one of the excuses if the Vikings do not perform to the standard that everybody thinks they can. And that comes to the second excuse. The first excuse will be McCarthy. Oh, it's a first-year starting quarterback. Give him time. Next year will be next year will be the year. But we were told that we passed on Aaron Rodgers because he would be ready this year. How's that work? And then the second excuse is going to be injuries. Because as great as the players the Vikings added via free agency were, a lot of them have injury problems or an injury history. The offensive line guys that they added in were coming off of season-ending injuries. Javon Hargrave, there's no secret there that he has had injury history. And that will be the second excuse if the Minnesota Vikings do not perform to the degree that everybody thinks they should. Because first off, it can never be the fact that the team isn't good enough. There's always got to be an excuse. There's always got to be, well, if McCarthy was just in year two, well, if the guys just stayed healthy, we would have been a way better team. That's the way the mind works. So that's what's going to happen. If the Vikings do not perform to the level or degree that people think they should, the finger will get pointed at McCarthy because everywhere else offensively is great. Running back, offensive line, tight end, receiver. Or the finger will get pointed at the offensive line. And I should, or the injuries to the players they added via free agency. And I should always remember to bring this one back in because this is the one that never gets old. Regardless of who is coaching, the finger will get put on Kevin O'Connell as well. Because, oh, he can't take a roster to the next level. Sure, he could win 13 games, but he can't take a roster to the next level. If the Vikings aren't winning games, that will be a thing. If the Vikings are not competing for the NFC North in a year where the Lions are down or could be down, people are going to point the finger at O'Connell and say he can't take the roster to the next level. He's not one of the great coaches in the NFL. I don't know why the Vikings gave him such a big contract. When a zillion other NFL teams would have loved to trade for O'Connell. Also, one more thing. The 2 years the Vikings won 13 plus games with O'Connell. You know, people get so enamored with NFC North titles or making the playoffs. And that might be my biggest pet peeve in the sports world. Because people celebrate after you win the NFC North, or people celebrate like the Vikings did, throwing Sam Darnold on their shoulders because he had a few good games, when really it was all meaningless. And nothing fires me up more than that. Because, sure, you won an NFC North. Good for you. You lose first round in the playoffs, and you're right where the worst teams in the division were. At home, sitting on your ass, watching the rest of the playoffs. If you don't win a playoff game, the rest of the season, winning all those games and winning the North, is completely meaningless. If you are one and done in the playoffs, you went just as far as the lowest team in your division. Sure, you made it to the playoffs, but you didn't do anything in the playoffs. You had one meaningful game, but you lost the meaningful game. So as much as the Vikings have had 13-win season here, 14-win season there, both of those seasons were completely meaningless because they did nothing when it came to the playoffs. The first year, they lost to the Daniel Jones Giants. And last year, they lose to the Matthew Stafford Rams in Arizona. So, this really is a big year for the Vikings. And don't give me any of this, oh, they made the playoffs with McCarthy under his first year bull crap, because I'm sick and tired of just making the playoffs and losing. I don't think that is the merit of success. So, the Vikings excuse-o-meter, you better watch out for it because it's coming in hot. And there are going to be fingers pointed at McCarthy, O'Connell, and potentially the injuries if the players the Vikings signed who have injury history are not able to maintain their health this season. So it is a big year in year 4. Playoff games, cool. You lose those games, you're right where all the other teams are that didn't make the playoffs. You got to give us something. So that's the take for the day. The Vikings excuses. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching and listening. Remember, 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Check them out today and be a happy customer. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. They're the best. They'll get your project done in 40 hours. A full bathroom remodel. All right, everyone. Take care.